Hey, Rob, hold on real quick. Every time I look up, I see Rob Stone. I see that, what is that, wallpaper?
Wallpaper?
And then Rob actually got up this morning and said, I'm going to put on this shirt. I'm spinning when I look up and I see this. What is that?
How can you even see me in my camouflage shirt? I think all you can see are my hands, right?
What's amazing to me, you got up and said, I'm going to pick, because you got shirts. You have a choice.
You got to wear a solid color with that wallpaper.
No, I would not wear that shirt. No.
Urban would not. Mark would.
First of all, it's a small. Second of all, no.
It's a medium.
Light it.
Welcome to the Triple Option presented by Wendy's. Try Wendy's new Frosty Fusions with flavors like Caramel Crunch, Oreo Brownie, and Pop-Tart Strawberry.
Light it.
Light it.
Look at that smile.
Light it.
Love that music still hits you after a year and change. All right, welcome back. Another edition of the Triple Option presented by Wendy's. Mark Ingram's dancing, Urban Meyer's coaching. I'm Rob Stone. Glad you're here with us this week. Coach James Franklin lost a battle with his Penn State team. Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney joins us. Coach Swinney, Mark, he had some thoughts. He had some words. He had some thoughts on the ACC scheduling his quarterback. The SEC made a major move, and we hit the huge week one offerings, including the massive one in Columbus, #1 Texas at the defending champs, #3 Ohio State. All that coming up on the Triple Option. As always, thanks for joining us. We encourage you to rate, subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, as well as across social media. Tell everybody you can find us at 3X Option Show. New episodes coming your way every Wednesday on YouTube and wherever it is that you get your podcast. Let's begin with any given Saturday, the Week 0 edition. Yeah, college football is already fired up. Coach, I know you were celebrating that UNLV win. It was a close one, but UNLV got a big win in Week 0. But the one we're going to talk about, two Big 12 title contenders meeting in Dublin, Ireland. Then number 22, Iowa State. Narrow win over then number 17, Kansas State. The big play, the moment we're going to talk about, just about 2.5 left in the fourth quarter. Iowa State with the ball up 3, 4th and 3 from the Kansas State 16. Could have kicked a field goal, go up 6, but still a lot of time on the clock. Instead, they went for it, and it paid off. The QB, Rocco Beck, connecting with Carson Hansen. They get the first down. They kneel out the clock. The big news, though, Coach, after this was that Rocco Beck said that his head coach, Matt Campbell, gave him 2 calls at the line to go with, and it was up to him, up to the quarterback, to make the call on what turned out to be a game-deciding moment. And that's what you get when you have trust between quarterbacks and head coaches.
This really fires me up, Mark, because this is all ball. I'm jacked up to talk about this. But I'm also going to say Kansas State and Iowa State, 2 of the best coached teams in America, year in, year out. With these 2 coaches, Kleiman and obviously Campbell at Iowa State, which I text with them back and forth. They are so excited to have us in a few weeks.
Week 3, Iowa at Iowa State, big noon kickoff. Let's go.
So as a coach and a player, I know, Mark, you're the same way. I appreciate good players and good coaches. I really do. They play the game damn hard, man. And that was so Rocco's, the quarterback at Iowa State, made a comment that he had choice to make. And I think this is really important for a listener or viewer to hear this. So the more trust you have in that quarterback, because defense is changing on you, and really good defensive coordinators, you hear the term multiple. If you can read that book and know where those people are, I don't care how good you are, at some point we're going to get you. Multiplicity on defense is a problem, and it's the real problem for the guy that has to make decisions. It's the coordinator's problem, but most importantly, it's the quarterback's problem. And there's certain plays that are good against certain defenses. There's others that are awful against it. For example, the easiest one to think about is man versus zone. If you have certain plays that are great against zone that aren't worth a damn against man. Who can get you in that play? If you have a young quarterback you don't trust, you see it all the time in college, not so much in the pros, because those quarterbacks been around for a minute. But you get that young player, and he really doesn't understand defenses and all that. You see them always look over to the sideline. You know, they'll kind of give that false count, and then they look over and they change the play. The problem with that, Mark, is the defense then changes, and you get stuck. I've been caught in that situation. When you have a J.T. Barrett or the second half of Dwayne Haskins or these veteran quarterbacks, Tebow, by the time his junior year, he basically called the game. We'd send a play in, but that play had a two-way, which means usually it's a run or a pass. If it's an 8-man front, pass. Go to the pass, Tim, or JT, whoever it is. If it's 7-man front, go to the run, and he runs it. However, now you have field blitz, middle blitz, boundary blitz. You have no deep blitz, which means it's a 6 or 7-man pressure. Those are when you have a real veteran quarterback. You say, okay, there's a single call, a two-way, a three-way, or at times, like Mark has told us in the past, you get a Drew Brees, you can go to anything. So when I hear that quarterback, first of all, I love quarterbacks like that. I usually had quarterbacks like that. But it's also the confidence that a defensive-minded coach like Matt Campbell has in his offense coordinator on they lose. There's a good chance, Mark, they lose that game if they don't execute that. So kudos to Iowa State, and also to have a quarterback, Mark, you've played behind a couple monsters, a Hall of Famer too, that when you know that quarterback's going to get you in the right play, that's a hell of a feeling.
Yeah, it's not like it, Coach. It's nothing but an asset and an advantage to your team, because if you give them one call and the defense has the right defense for it, it's a bad play.
Yeah.
It's a bad play. So the point of doing that is so the quarterback can get you out of a bad play into a good play. You can either have a run, okay, now we have a 3-count week. It was supposed to go to the strong side. Let's flip it, alert, alert. Now we're going to run it the other way. Or when I had Drew, we would sometimes go to the line of scrimmage and we'd have a package. Bombers package. It has 5 or 6 different plays within that package where he can either get to a man concept, he can get to a zone concept, he can get to an individual to the backside X receiver if he likes the matchup, he can get to an individual matchup for the running back if he likes the matchup on the linebacker. So you'd have to come out the huddle and know 5 different signals to 5 different plays and be able to execute it. So when you have a quarterback that can master that and have that type of intelligence, it's a huge advantage for the offense.
So I want to say this, that for the game of offensive football is about numbers and leverage. If you have a defense playing outside leverage on you, you want to run inside breaking plays. If you have a numbers advantage, where you have a numbers advantage in that box, you want to run the football. I know it sounds simple, but the great defensive coaches, they're so good at not letting you know what's happening. And so having a guy out there that has done that 20 to 30 hours of prep during a week, like
essentially a coach on the field.
Yeah, he's a coach.
Yeah.
And I remember Alex Smith. I would go like this. I'd go to Alex, and Dan Mullen was my offense coordinator, and I would look at him, the Fiesta Bowl. I went like this half the time. Go, Alex.
Go.
You got it. You call the play, Alex. You know better than we do. So having a quarterback like that, man, and as a result, they won. They had the perfect play. I believe it was man coverage, perfect play against man coverage. And guess who got him in that play?
The trust factor to me is pretty cool, Coach, because this is a head coach who's a proud individual handing things off to a young teenager. Do you remember that first moment where you're like, all right, you're in charge. You're doing it right now. That takes a lot of guts. I look at the
opposite. There's no better feeling. Coaches,
I would think it would be a great feeling, but you had to give it up at some point.
We're old gray-haired dudes on the sideline. You want to trust guys like Ingram, and that's when I know I had a Zeke Elliott, and we were handing we got in the right play. JT got us in the right play, and that's a soft box. I knew something was coming out the other end of that thing, and it was going to be usually Zeke Elliott.
Do you remember the first time letting your quarterback make the call?
Oh, yeah. At Bowling Green, we had a kid named Josh Harris that became a monster.
Josh Harris,
candidate.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's no better feeling.
All right, time for this week's edition of Sound Off. Our clip this week, we're going to take you behind the scenes at Penn State, among the favorites to win it all. And I got to tell you, there are some feel-good vibes going on around the Penn State team right now. Take a look, take a listen. Okay. All right.
I
so
love it, Stone.
The first clip, Mark, the first clip I saw, and I sent it to our producer, Chris, and I'm like, do you think Coach has ever been thrown into a pool? Like, can you imagine the guts, the onions of Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, Ohio State to go after Coach Meyer and throw him in a pool? I'm guaranteeing you, the only people who've ever thrown Coach Meyer into a pool or body water is probably
the grandkids.
Your son. No, your son. Maybe the grandkids. Even they, I think they're afraid of Grandpa.
All right. It's one quick story. I know it's story time again, but in 2008, Mark, we have a great football team, and we lose to Ole Miss on 4th down. I don't know if you remember that. In 08, we lost that on 4th and 1. Tebow gets stuffed.
Tebow, the speech.
Yeah, the speech, the promise. And we're playing LSU in 2 weeks, and I mean, you could cut the tension with a knife because if we lose again, we're out, and we have a loaded team. And I come in after Thursday practice, and they're all jumped in that cold tub. You know, there's about 8. We had a big, giant cold tub. And I walk by and I see usually guys are laughing, having fun, and you know it's Thursday, work week's done, and it's not. I got a problem. I got to loosen this team up. I grab my cell phone and throw it on the side, and I hate cold water because I just can't, like all of us. And I said screw it, and I tell our trainer, I said move away. I'm going to jump in this thing. He looks at me, and goes what? I jumped in the middle of that. I just did like a cannonball, and I mean, I had 8 guys start beating the shit. I mean, just diving on me and. Because obviously they're freezing now because I moved that cold water. So, long story short, I jumped right in the middle of that thing. It's like knives hit you, Mark, when you jump into that thing.
The cold tub is good for you, man.
Yeah, I know. And then, so we won the game big. We beat the heck out of LSU that week. So guess what? Tebow and them made me do that every week all the way through the national championship.
I was
like, damn, and
that was the recipe. You cannonballing, huh?
But again, Coach,
you didn't do it in 09,
that's you willfully going in. That is not you being picked up and tossed in by your team.
I don't think I've been
But
tossed.
you didn't cannonball in 09. That's when we got it. So.
Let it go, Mark.
Thanks for holding the cannonball, at least. Thanks.
Did you ever have Did you guys ever have the school band come into your meeting rooms?
Absolutely. Every team up north week, they come over. That's a tradition that's gone on for 100 years at Ohio State. They come in and they do the Script Ohio. The band, the players grab tubas and drums, and they do so the band. I'll tell you what, Penn State's got a real band, and they got a real game day atmosphere. So
they got a real team this year.
Stoner, I'm gonna tell you one thing. We talk about on the field stuff. We talk about the returning starters they got coming back. We talk about James Franklin, their seniors, the upperclassmen they had coming back. That team right there is a dangerous football team. That's all I needed to see.
Yeah,
when you
agree.
have camaraderie like that, when you're having fun like that with guys who want to be great, guys who have tasted what success is, but they haven't gotten there yet, and they're still having fun. They love each other. They love being around each other. They're having fun with the coaches and the players. That is a dangerous football team. And those 2 clips you showed me, I'm high on Penn State just off of those 2 clips. It's nothing to do with on the field. The best teams I've been around have been great off the field, have loved each other off the field, have had fun with each other off the field. But when they get on the field, they know what's important and what they have to do. But I know that's what Penn State's doing, and seeing those 2 clips, that's a dangerous football team just from those 2 clips there.
I agree. That was my initial, the input in my brain when I saw those 2 things too, that there is definitely something special getting built right now in Happy Valley. We're going to talk about Penn State a little bit later, but coming up next, we discuss the SEC scheduling decision that everyone has been asking for and they finally got. Plus, we take a look at Week 1's top matchups, including the Ohio State hosting #1 Texas. That's coming up on the Triple Option, presented by Wendy's.
Light it.
If you love Wendy's classic Frosty flavors, we have got some big news for you. There are all new Frosty Swirl and Frosty Fusion flavors. So, yeah, it's the same creamy treat that you've always loved, now with a flavor refresh. So what are these new flavors?
Well, Stoner, thanks for asking. There are a lot, so I'm just going to list them, okay? We've got the Frosty Swirls, strawberry, brownie batter, and caramel. Then we've got the blended Frosty Fusions, caramel crunch, Oreo brownie with swirl thick brownie batter sauce and crunchy Oreo cookie pieces, and Pop-Tarts, strawberry with a street strawberry sauce and chunks of crazy good Pop-Tarts pieces.
You know your flavors. Not to mention that, yes, you can still get your classic vanilla. Try them all and find your favorite.
Are you going to be a strawberry swirl girl, a caramel craze fanatic, brownie batter buff, Pop-Tart strawberry fanatic, Oreo brownie stay?
These are all really, really good questions, Mark. Anyway, whatever flavor you're craving, odds are we've got a Frosty for it. So check in for sweet treat time with Wendy's. All new Frosty flavors. A refresh on a classic? Gotta be Wendy's. This college football season is delivering weekly showdowns you do not want to miss.
Right now, all customers on FanDuel can score a 50% profit boost for this week's big match on campus between Texas and The Ohio State.
Here's how it works. Place a bet on the game. Apply your profit boost and enjoy boosted winnings when your bet hits. And the best part, you get paid instantly when you win. Use your boost on bets like spreads, over-unders, team props, and so much more.
Don't wait. Visit FanDuel.com/triple option to download the app and boost your next bet on this week's marquee game. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Welcome back to the Triple Option presented by Wendy's. Rob, Mark, Urban back here with you. Time now for Crossroads presented by NHTSA. Whether you get pulled over or get into a crash, drinking and driving will change your whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over, paid for by NHTSA. The SEC has
Rob,
been under...
Hold on real quick. Mark, I'm looking at that. Every time I look up, I see Rob Stone. I see that, what is that, wallpaper?
Wallpaper?
And then Rob actually got up this morning and said, I'm going to put on this shirt.
It's a lot going on to the eye, Coach.
Yeah.
Fashion
expert Urban Meyer, everybody.
No, hey. I'm not. I'm spinning when I look up and I see this. What is that?
How can you even see me in my camouflage shirt? I think all you can see are my hands, right?
What's amazing to me, you got up and said, I'm going to pick, because you got shirts. You have a choice.
You got to wear a solid color with that wallpaper. Or you're going to have us feeling...
Because the viewers can look and say, what the hell is wrong with Rob Stone?
Mark Ingram, tell me you would not wear this shirt.
No.
I would wear the shirt, but not against that wallpaper.
I understand. Wow, everybody's a critic.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's good. Can we get back to our NHTSA conversation about the SEC?
I don't know where I would wear the shirt.
No, I would not wear that shirt. No.
Urban would not. Mark would.
First of all, it's a small. Second of all, no.
It's a medium. All right. Oh, my God. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to see you in Columbus this week. All right. The SEC has been pressured for years to add that 9th conference game to their schedule, like the Big Ten, like the Big 12, not like the ACC, by the way. And it is finally happening starting next season. Each school will have 3 annual opponents focused on maintaining, of course, those traditional rivalries. That makes sense. Each of the 6 remaining games rotate among the other schools. Each team will face every other SEC program at least once every 2 years to make things equitable. SEC schools, this is the big one, we'll get to this in a second, will be required to play 1 game per season against a school from the Big Ten, Big 12, ACC, or Notre Dame. Coach has some thoughts on that. But first, Mark, your collegiate career was in the SEC. Yes, what are your thoughts on the conference finally going to that 9-game number?
I mean, I felt like the schedule was fine as is. The SEC was tough as a mother when I was playing. You know what I mean? It's a little different now, but let's look at this thing. You can look at it a few different ways. Like the new CFP, 12 teams, they're supposed to award strength of schedule. So adding a 9th SEC game plus a quality non-conference opponent, that essentially makes SEC resumes bulletproof. The trade-off, is they're going to be beating each other up. You know, it's going to be some more cannibal.
That's real, Mark. That's real.
The truth is, there's going to be more cannibalization within the conference. You're going to see more 9-3 teams. You're going to see more 10-2 teams because you're adding that extra game. But as a player, what is that like? As far as national respect goes, everyone wants to hate on the SEC. Like, it's going to shut the haters up. Like, folks always say the SEC schedules were light in certain spots, but now
it was light because of the out-of-conference scheduling, right? There would be some real soft teams slid in there. Yeah, but again, here's LSU opening with Clemson week 1, right?
Right. So, I mean, you can't say that now. Every Saturday is going to be a dogfight. You got a 9-game SEC schedule. Then you got a quality opponent out the Big 10, the Big 12, or the ACC. But at the end of the day, what do we do this for? We do this for the fans. And the fans win here. More rivalries, more top 25 matchups, more Saturday classics. I mean, who doesn't want all that? You know what I mean? So I think this is a win, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
I actually can't believe they went there, Mark. I can't.
They didn't have to.
Commissioner Sankey and the coaches and the ADs agreed on this. I might have pushed back on that because, you generally you have to worry about the good of college football, the playoff and all that, but the SEC is a different animal, man. And there's very few people can speak on both. I can speak on the Big 10 and the SEC. I can't speak on the Big 12, although I play teams from Big 12 and the ACC. However, when I was a coach of the Gators, we always had 2006 was the most difficult schedule in the country. We always had our rival.
Yes.
Our crossover was LSU. Think about that. Our rival was Tennessee and Georgia.
Think about that.
And then throw in Florida State at the end of the year. Every year we played Florida State, and that was back when they were top 5, top 10 all the time. So people would say something, why are you playing Western Carolina? And
because I need that.
I said, I could give 2 shits what you think. I mean, I have a team to coach. And our job is to get to the SEC championship. Period. Done. I'm not here to appease fans in California. Our AD was Jeremy Foley. Was great. He agreed. I mean, every 4 years, I believe we played Miami.
Yeah.
So you're going to play Miami, Florida State, and the SEC schedule, and your LSU is your crossover in the Western Division.
Yeah. Or
so
Alabama,
we always had the most difficult schedule. So I am shocked that they did it. Is it right for? Once again, I think the SEC's, all due respect to the Big 12 and the ACC, even the Big 10, your bottom half of your conference is not even close in my mind.
Not at all.
There's 16 stadiums, teams. Your talent level. You're talking about bottom half of the SEC. It fluctuates, obviously, but there's NFL players all over that roster, whoever you're playing. So and now Vanderbilt's got a hell of a coach, and they're starting to win games. So
the Big 10, the Big 10 won the last 2 natties, but listen, I won a natty in the SEC. You won a natty in the SEC. I know what it takes. You know what it takes. Add this 9th game, it makes the toughest conference, in my opinion, in the national. It makes the toughest conference in the nation even tougher. You know what I mean? So,
but I'm worried you're going to beat each other up, man.
They are. They're going to cannibalize each other. You're going to see a 9-3 champion out the SEC.
I don't think they need to add a 9 conference. I'm glad they're making everybody play because I think college football should have that rule. That every team should play someone from one of their big conferences because that's great for that. That should happen.
Yeah, you're going to see a 9-3 conference champion out the SEC like ACC last year with Clemson winning the conference at 9-3. So
and Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney is going to join us momentarily on the Triple Option. He has some thoughts. He has some real thoughts on scheduling and what the ACC should or maybe shouldn't do going forward. We've got a massive slate of week 1 games. We want to get you caught up. Of course, the biggest is number 1 Texas. First time the Longhorns have been number 1 in the preseason rankings ever. They are at the defending champs, number 3 Ohio State in Columbus. That is your treat of the week. Presented by Wendy's. Try Wendy's new Frosty Fusions with flavors like Caramel Crunch, Oreo Brownie, and Pop-Tarts Strawberry. That game, noon Eastern, live on Fox. So many storylines to this one, but Coach, the biggest one that jumps out at you, these 2 proud programs, these 2 absolute blue bloods, are both starting essentially new quarterbacks, new QB1s. I know Arch Manning had a lot of snaps last year, but Arch Manning is now in control of Texas, and Julian Sayin getting the call to be Ohio State's number 1 quarterback. It is a rematch from last year's college football playoff semifinals, won by the Buckeyes. Is it fair to say that the 2 new QBs is story number 1 for this one?
It is, and I have obvious experience coaching. You know, the most famous one was when Cardell Jones took over in the Big Ten championship game. But whenever you're starting a young quarterback, J.T. Barrett, whether Dwayne Haskins when he was a first-time starter, all the way back to Tim Tebow, et cetera, I have very strong feelings, strong enough feelings that at times I would get in arguments with our staff. I mean, respectful arguments about. I had two rules, two things that we, especially when you have a good team, which the Buckeyes and the Longhorns obviously got good defenses, good special teams, well-coached teams. I think the first score of the game or the score at the end of the half is going to be whichever quarterback screwed up and whichever coaching staff put that guy in.
Yep.
Now think these are, you can say what you want about Archman. He's going to be a great player. He's only 61 of 90 for his career. And his only meaningful game was in Mississippi State. I went and watched that game. Mississippi State was not good. He's seen nothing about what he's getting ready to see. Julian Sayin is a first-time starter. Last year he was 5 of 12, so he's thrown 12 competitive passes in his career. So I had two rules when I started a young quarterback. Number one, the mindset of the quarterback is to get 2 first downs. That's all I want the coordinators to talk to him about. That's the way our team, I wanted everybody, it's not your job, Julian or Arch, to take us down the field right now. I think that's overwhelming. When you go stand on the field, and I used to do that with the quarterback and the offense, I'd say, look, there's 10 yards, right? We can get 10 yards. If you get 2 first downs, Mark, the field is officially flipped.
Yeah.
So think about the way the game starts. I don't care if you get the ball on the 20-yard line. Normally you get the ball after a fair catch or kick out of the end zone, the 25-yard line or 35-yard line. If you do that, you get 2 first downs. Where's the ball? Midfield.
50.
Yeah, you go drop. You have both of them are great punters, great punt teams. You're going to drop that thing inside the 10-yard line. Now the opposing quarterback is starting inside his 10.
It's backed up.
So you get 2 first downs. That's number one, and that's a big number one. I want to hear nothing else said to that quarterback. Number 2 is never throw a ball between the hash marks to start that game. Because like a point guard, a quarterback, the energy, Mark, you remember your first start, you probably couldn't breathe, especially in a game like this.
Yeah.
Those quarterbacks, I've seen them. I have my arm around the quarterback. All right, here we go. And you can't even hear it so loud.
Especially being
looking
a
at
Q.
this kid, and he's, what's going through his mind right now. So you always start, the adrenaline's pumped. When you're a point guard and you feel
what
that
you had to tell
energy,
him, Coach, when he looking like that? What you had to tell him when he was looking had that flush?
Usually I said hand the ball to Zeke, or whoever, Percy Harvin. But in that situation, you want to make sure. Well, I'm going back to a point guard. A point guard with all the adrenaline. Watch him sometime. Where's the ball always go? Off the back of the rim. And bounces off from a big rebound. Why? Because the energy. Same thing with a quarterback. With the energy, enthusiasm, the nervousness, he's going to overstride. He's going to throw that ball high. You mark my words, that ball is going to come out high a bunch of times. If you're playing a ball outside the hash marks, that's called an incomplete pass. And you punt, move on. You know what happens, Rob, if it's thrown down the middle, right?
Tipped and picked.
Yeah, it's a pick. And that's how you go lose the game. So 2 rules. Get 2 first downs. That's rule number 1. That's your focus. Get 2 first downs. At the appropriate time, we'll take the shot. And then the second one is keep that ball out of the middle field.
Coach, did you like to have them throw like right away, like first down, first snap, just give me a nice and easy 2 yard, 3 yard?
If you look at Cardell Jones, his first play against Wisconsin, who had a great defense, we ran a sprint out and threw an out cut. I wanted him to, I could do that. Just get the monkey off his back. Do that, let him completions. Go. The other times, like I remember Alex Smith told me, and same with Tebow, I remember it distinctly. You know what they wanted the first play? A Q run.
Oh.
Yep.
They wanted to hit right. They wanted
to get hit?
Set them pads early.
They want to get hit. I mean, Eric, people don't realize how tough Alex Smith was. Alex Smith would tell me, I said, run me today on the first snap. Let me get this out of my system.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm good with that. Bam, he'd get hit, he'd get up, and I said, okay, let's go play.
Yeah, Coach, I love that.
And no more running.
I would hate when I went 3 or 4 possessions to open the game and would not touch the ball. I'm like, yo, I need to touch this rock. I need to get this hit. You feel me?
Mark my words. I think the first score of the game is going to be made on a mistake made by the quarterback. And I hate to put that pressure on. And I would put it on the coach.
Opening game, mistakes for sure. A lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties.
We saw a lot of sloppy football in week 0. Right?
Who can play the cleanest game?
Sure.
Who could play the cleanest game? That's week 1. Who could play the cleanest game and be the most disciplined in game managing situations? 2-minute, red zone, turning the football over. Those are all critical areas of victory for both teams early in week 1.
Now, I will add this, that when I say be conservative, which I am, I'd throw swing routes and all that, but I'd also take shots. But what shots would I take, Mark? Simply one-on-ones on the outside.
Yep.
Because if you, once again, you overthrow it, incomplete pass, move on.
Tips and
overthrows.
overthrows.
I would never throw that ball between the hash marks.
How often do you think Jeremiah Smith is going to be left in a one-on-one situation?
I don't think once. You know how many times last year Texas held him to 1 catch for 3 yards? And I went back, and I'm going to do a segment on Big Noon about that. It's called the SJD defense. You know what that is? Stop Jeremiah defense. and I'm going to, not to give too much away, but I'm going to talk, I got a whole segment on that. And it's either, if man coverage, you want to stop him, you know what you do? You bracket him.
Yep.
In zone coverage, Mark, you roll to him.
Yep.
And they did that. As a result, Emeka and Junkins had 100 yards receiving in the game. So
somebody else got to step up.
Somebody
else got to step up. Coach, I'm looking at the tape. Who do I'm not going to let beat me? That guy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else got to try to beat me, but he can't do it.
Carnell Tate and the Purdue transfer receiver. And they like this Peoples kid, the running back. I don't know him.
And the key there, Coach, you said they held him to 1 catch for 3 yards?
That's it.
7 returning starters, continuity on the coaching staff. They're going to go up there with that same type of game plan, switch some stuff up. A young rookie quarterback. They're going to try to put pressure on him, fluster him, and hey, it's going to be a great matchup. I can't wait.
I got one thing to add, Rob. So an elite wide receiver's best friend in order, okay, if you're a great receiver, in order, number 1 is an athletic quarterback. Why? It limits the defense you're going to see. And if you're Will Howard was a threat every time he touched the ball. So he had very vanilla coverages last year against Jeremiah.
Is Sayin a threat to run it?
No. Number 2,
pocket.
You want you want a strong run game.
Yep.
They had 2 first-rounders.
Got to run that ball.
Junkins. So that's the best friend an elite receiver can have. And then finally, an elite number 2 receiver, if they double you and they had Emeka.
He can eat.
Guess what, Mark? Gone is the running quarterback. Gone are the 2 running backs. Yep. And gone is Emeka. So the elite receiver, it was a perfect scenario for John. I'm still saying he's elite, of course. I think you're going to see more double on him and use what
Ohio
Texas
State, man,
did to him.
they're just full of stormtroopers, though. One goes down, another one pops back up.
Yeah,
those guys that have to pop back up have to prove themselves on this level. And Texas, as you mentioned, Mark, has got a bunch of dudes who have done it. I know they only returned 3 starters on offense, but it's defense, right? 7 starters return. Last season, they allowed just over 15 points a game, 3rd in FBS. I feel, and I don't know where you are, but I think the Texas defense is what's going to win it or potentially lose it for the Longhorns in Columbus.
Yeah, I think that's the key to this game is their defense. The return of 7 starters, a team who played really tough. They were a top 3 defense in the nation last year. You got those guys coming back. You got the same coaching staff continuity coming back. Then you add, I feel like that's going to be the difference, especially in a game when it's week 1 where you need to rely on your defense to play tough, not give up points, turn the football over, get pressure on this rookie quarterback. That's what their front depth up on the defensive front. They get pressure on the quarterback. That's what they did. And so I think that's going to be a big point of emphasis for them Saturday. But then also the running game. I think how Texas is built right now, I feel like they can go into go up to Ohio State on the road because what happens? A defense travels, a run game travels. They got their 2 top running backs coming back, Travion Wisner and C.J. Baxter off that bad knee injury he had. They're both back this year. Arch Manning, he's a dual threat quarterback. He can run, he can make plays with his arm, extending plays. So I feel like those aspects of running the football and playing a tough defense, I feel like those things play into Texas' hand for this matchup.
So I went and watched Texas offense, and I'm just curious. Their top 2 receivers and tight end are gone.
Yep.
For the NFL, and I thought they were good last year. Both of them were NFL guys, obviously. I watched the receivers. I don't know, Mark.
Yeah.
I think they got to really improve from what they got. Emmett Mosley, a transfer from Stanford, but I actually went and watched him.
Yeah.
He's
DeAndre
okay. I mean,
Moore.
you know, yeah, he's a good player. Is he first-round draft pick? No.
I'm not sure. We'll see this year. He never had his opportunity. You know, they had Matthew Golden and you know, Isaiah Bond kind of last year. So
and then they got injuries. The Cal tight end transfer that,
you
know, he's an athletic dude. So I'm anxious to see. I think the running backs are legit. I think that CJ, you know, he got hurt.
Yeah.
But I actually made a couple calls to find out. They say the kid's a monster before he got hurt. So.
I think game management, taking care of the football, and playing tough defense, especially in an early season game against a tough opponent, are critical. Defense, game management, 2-minute, into half, into game, red zone, taking care of the football, running the football. Those are real simple things that you have to be able to do in an early matchup against a big team.
I'm going to add one thing that I would put above all that, quarterback management.
Yeah, of course. Game management, quarterback management.
Because it's unique. You have two young bloods.
You want to get those guys comfortable.
And one thing we always see early on in the season too, special teams, right? How much time did you really spend on special teams, whether it's returning punts or kickoffs or field goals? You know this one's going to be tight.
Stoner.
And I know Coach is a special team guy.
You know that because a special teams touchdown gives you 99% chance to win the game.
There we go.
You score on special teams, kick return touchdown, punt return touchdown, block field goal touchdown, block punt touchdown. That makes your percentages go up 99%.
Man, and the energy is going to be so great. By the way, weather, I was looking at it, only going to be like mid-70s, like a very
great football
temperate, great football weather for late August.
So Mark won't be sweating through his sport coat.
No, we're going to save that for later in the season. By the way, we might be going back to UCF in week 4. There's chatter about that one. I'm already
right in September.
I'm having some sweat flashbacks for that one. All right, we're going to pick this game coming up in a little bit, but there's so much else to get to in week 1. Again, we talked about Dabo Swinney is going to join us in just a moment. His 4th-ranked Clemson Tigers host number 9 LSU Saturday night. This is a matchup of 2 legit Heisman quarterback candidates. Cade Klubnik for Clemson, almost 3,700 yards passing last season. He can run it too, 7 rushing touchdowns, 36 touchdowns against, what are we getting on? We're getting on the Nuss bus. Garrett Nussmeier, over 4,000 yards last season. Again, we're going to talk to Dabo coming up in a moment, but Mark, what are your early thoughts on the battle of the 2 Death Valleys?
The battle of the 2 Death Valleys. See, the Death Valley I know is traveling to the Death Valley of South Carolina. So they're going to have to bring
3.
Yeah. Wait. Is there 3? Because there's a Death Valley in LSU. There's a Death Valley in South Carolina. Where's the other Death Valley? Oh, yeah. No, so there's only 2. LSU and Clemson. Yeah, okay. So, So LSU Death Valley traveling to Clemson Death Valley. But, man, Clemson is a tough team, man. They're a tough football team. They won the ACC last year, 9-3. They made it to the college football playoff. They got Cade Klubnik. They got 6 returning starters. 16 returning starters, 8 on offense, 8 on defense. So you talk about Cade Klubnik and just who he is, what he's meant, and how he grew last year against the Nuss, LSU. There's a lot of question marks, in this game of what's going to happen. But I think the advantage, is leaning towards Clemson in this one, man. I think the 16 returning starters. I think the home field advantage. I think the consistency in coaching with Dabo. I think it's going to be a close game, maybe a field goal here or there. You know what I mean? But
Brian Kelly with those week 1 issues, he has yet to win his opening game as head coach at LSU, and a lot of that has to do with scheduling and whatnot. But Coach, that is in the back of his brain. Maybe it's in the frontal cortex at this point with that type of stat.
Is it just at LSU or does it go past LSU or? Just LSU? Yeah.
I'm going to say this about Brian Kelly, and I use this very sparingly unless it's true. He's a winner. He's won in Central Michigan, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, and so he's going to win. The pressure is all over LSU now. They didn't hire them to, all due respect, to 9 and 10 wins. That's not why you go to LSU. So there's a reason, Mark, is I think the template was set in Ann Arbor 2 years ago. It was followed by the Buckeyes. Penn State and LSU kind of have it, and so does Clemson.
So does Clemson. Right. Yep.
They have the returning, the guy that could have left and he said, I'm going to come back. Nussmeier said, I'm going to come back. He threw for 4,000 some yards, but the whole point is he came back because there's unfinished business. Same thing with Penn State. How about those 2 running backs came back?
Yeah.
But that's the cool thing about NIL now. They're getting paid so they can. So I have LSU as a dark horse with me because I think I have a lot of respect for the coach, that program, because I know the dudes they get. I've coached against those cats. It seems year in, year out, Mark. You remember they just look different down there.
Yeah.
And
the defense has been, the defense has been kind of, the question mark of that team, because they were scoring a lot of points last year. The defense was kind of the question mark. They have a lot of transfers incoming. So
last
we
2
do
years,
like,
right?
Yeah. We like Nuss. We know what he could do, but will the supporting cast be able to rise to the occasion in Death Valley? And what's the line here, Stoner? Am I picking my game?
We'll get to the line. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Am I picking this game right now?
Yeah. You can start thinking about that. By the way, don't be surprised if this is the first of 2 meetings this season between Clemson and LSU. I'll go ahead and throw that one out there. Another big matchup, top 10 matchup, Saturday night. New quarterback theme. It continues with Notre Dame on the road at Miami. Carson Beck left Georgia. He's now QB number 1 at Miami. CJ Carr, the grandson of former Michigan head coach Lloyd Carr, is QB number 1 this season for Notre Dame. Remember, ND lost in the title game to Ohio State. Marcus Freeman, what a great job the former Buckeye has done. What do you expect from the Irish this season and in this game, Coach?
They lost Al Golden, a guy that we all had great respect for.
Big loss,
coordinator.
Yep.
They hired my former coordinator, Chris Ash, is now running the defense. And I've been texting with him. He loves this team. He, obviously he's a big fan of Marcus Freeman, as I am. I was surprised they're only a slight favorite over Miami. So there must be, I don't know a lot about Miami. Obviously Carson Beck, we saw him. He has all the tools, but he gives the ball to the other team too much. If that continues, that's a bad recipe. That's a recipe for failure if he doesn't take care of the ball. I think Notre Dame is going to reload. I'm surprised that their first 2 games are rugged. I want to say they have A&M second game. Miami, usually they don't do that. Usually, Notre Dame's schedule is a little bit more friendly than this. They have to find a way to come out of this early part of the season either undefeated or just 1 loss.
I got 2 words for you. Jeremiah Love.
Yep.
He is going to ball.
Best running back in the game right now?
Our beast. RB1 in the game right now. You heard it here first, Jeremiah.
Over Penn State, Singleton.
Ooh. Monday. Look, controversy this morning, huh, Coach? Oh, Lord. I just said 2 words.
He's a
Jeremiah
big
Love. Man, nah, Singleton is a beast, dog. I don't know, man. I like both of them. You can't. What do you want? You want power and speed? You want the need for speed? I don't know. Jeremiah Love, man. I just want to tell you in this game, watch out for my boy, man. He going to ball. He going to put Notre Dame on his back, come down here to the heat. The heat in Florida, the South Florida, they're going to be ready for that heat, Coach.
Hey, man, it's hot everywhere. It's August, right?
No, it's not.
I
You
know
said it's going to be 75.
But I know there's
Ohio.
Florida heat.
You said it's going to be 75 in Ohio. It has not been 75 here since February.
Since 2005.
I go out now, Mark, and I wonder how you guys did it. I
wonder how I did
Florida. I'm like, how do you practice? I go play tennis.
You coached in
could
Florida.
not
You know what it's
putting
about.
on shoulder pads and a helmet and going to tackle or hit or run the football right now. I couldn't imagine it. I don't know how I did it for so long.
All right, time now for 2-minute drill. We're going up tempo, guys. We're going to pick some of the big games. 2-minute drill is brought to you by FanDuel. Welcome, FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/triple option to download the app and take advantage of a 50% profit boost today. Coach, we're going to start with the big one. Number 1, Texas at number 3, Ohio State. Buckeyes favored by 2.5. The over-under, 47.5 total points. How do you see it, Coach?
I see Vegas as the winner, man. Again, I look right at that number, and that's right where it's going to be a field goal or I think the halftime score will be determined by the coaching staff or quarterback that makes a mistake. I'm going to take the Buckeyes in a tight win in Columbus, Ohio. They'll cover the spread. Not much, though.
Not much. Number 9, LSU at 4th ranked Clemson. First meeting of these 2 programs since the 2020 National Championship game, one in which LSU's Joe Burrow took care of Trevor Lawrence and Clemson. The Clemson Tigers, favored by 4.5, mark the over-under 57.5.
Lord, 57.5? In week 1?
You're rethinking things, aren't you? It seems like a big number.
I'm tempted to take the under on a week 1 matchup. You know what I mean?
But experienced quarterbacks, experienced rosters.
Yes. That's why I'm tempted to take the under. I'm tempted. But listen, can we just take Clemson money line? Like, do I have to take the points here? Like, Clemson minus 4.5? Like, can we just go money line here and just go Clemson money line?
You do whatever you want, man. The good folks at FanDuel are open to you.
The good folks at FanDuel, you gave me the minus 4.5. You gave me the over-under. I'm just comfortable going Clemson money line. How about that? For my people listening, for my listeners, and for my viewers, I'm putting my money Clemson money line. Okay? So there we go.
On Sunday, we reboot one of the classic rivalries in college football. Catholics versus Convicts is back. Notre Dame at Miami. The Irish favored by 2.5. The over-under 50.5 total points. Irish having to replace 12 starters. Remember, they had 14 wins last season. Had an FBS best 7 ranked wins as well for Notre Dame. No Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard's legs being replaced by Carr. We talked about that. Jeremiah Love over 1,100 yards rushing, 17 touchdowns. Love most rushing touchdowns of any returning back in FBS. He's a first-team preseason All-American. The Irish defense, top 10 scoring each of the last 2 seasons, but a new coordinator in Chris Ash, as you mentioned. For Miami, coming off their first 10-win season since 2017, but gone is number 1 pick Cam Ward. In comes Carson Beck, part of that number 3 transfer class this offseason. Beck at Georgia, 24-3. Led the Bulldogs to back-to-back SEC title games, but did have that UCL surgery in his throwing elbow. And remember, and Coach, you touched on it, the turnovers. Led the SEC with 12 interceptions last season. They replaced their top 6 receivers from last season. I think it's too much too soon for this revamped Miami side. I like the Irish on the road by at least 3. Who knows? Maybe even 7. Coming up next, he's a 2-time national champion head coach. Clemson's Dabo Swinney joins us, and he's got the word cyclical. Look it up, Mark. Cyclical. Dabo's going to be talking about cyclical nature of college football coming up next on the Triple Option, presented by Wendy's.
Light it.
Drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving.
And your vehicle might not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world. Whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving, the next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver.
The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA. What if a quarterback completed 4 out of 5 of his passes, or a point guard hit 4 out of 5 from behind the arc? Well, now when you're hiring, you can play at that level because 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
From healthcare to hospitality to business services, manufacturing, and more, ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And today, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/option. ZipRecruiter doesn't wait for the right candidates to find you. ZipRecruiter scouts top talent for you.
First, when you post your job, ZipRecruiter hustles to start showing it to the most qualified people. Then, ZipRecruiter races to build a roster of great candidates for your job. And you can invite your top picks to apply to encourage them to apply sooner.
So go see it for yourself. Go to this exclusive web address to try ZipRecruiter for free. We're giving it away for free right now. ZipRecruiter.com/option. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/option. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Welcome back to the Triple Option presented by Wendy's. What a guest we have for you here on week number 2. 4 national title appearances, 2 national titles, 9 ACC championships. The head coach at Clemson University, Dabo Swinney, joins us right now. And Coach, thanks. You enter this season number 4 in the AP rankings. Huge home game against LSU Saturday. And what's really unique about the conversation this week for both my coaches, between Mark, Dabo, and Urban, we are talking 6 national titles on the Triple Option right now. I'm bringing nothing to the table, Coach. Sorry about that.
Hey, I got one as a player. I don't know if you were counting.
There we go. 7.
Ooh.
7. Quick math update. 7 natties.
Let them know, Coach. Let them know.
Quick,
And listen, when we won it, Mark, it wasn't like it is now where Alabama wins it every other year. We won it in 92.
Yep.
Alabama hadn't, that was my senior year. They had not won it since the 70s.
Is that Stallings? Was that
Stallings. My senior year, 92. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man. Good to see y'all.
Good to see you.
Quick question. So 6 national championships, actually 7 because you had one as a player. I was talking to our crew about this. There's times you're 1 week before the season starts. And when you come home and talk to Kathleen, I'd come home and you'd have your decompression. And usually there's probably a Cabernet involved or something, or a little whiskey or something. I'd sit and I'd talk to her and I say, if I don't screw this up, we have a chance to win it all. There's other times I'd come home and I'd say, we're awful. Our defense sucks. Our corners can't play. We're soft. We're out of shape and all this. You've won 2 titles. I faced the one in 16, which is all first-rounders on that D-line. Can you tell when you're about to make a run, and is this year that year?
Well, I mean, I definitely think you can tell when you know that you've got a team that's got a chance, you know. And I mean, we've had several teams that I think didn't necessarily win the championship, but they were good enough. And you know, I always say you got to have a little luck along the way too. I think this team has the tangibles and the intangibles, and I think that's really, as a coach, what we probably sometimes you got a good team, but they don't have the intangibles. You know, you're and that really frustrates you. But I think they've got the ingredients. But you know, you got to go do it. I mean, we've got usually great teams have a great quarterback. We got a great quarterback. Usually great teams are good in the trenches. I think we're good in the trenches. You need a kicker that can win a game. We got a kicker that can win a game. We've got some elite skill. So we have those things. We got good leadership, good chemistry. These guys really love each other, and they've worked their butts off. And then I think also you got to have a vision for it. You know, and these guys, this group in particular, had not been to the playoffs because the last time we went 6 years in a row. In 21, we came up a point short. 22, same thing. 23, we weren't good enough to get there. So that group last year had none of those kids had experienced that. So now this is a group that's won the league, been to the playoff.
Yep.
They got a little vision for it, and I think it's hard to quantify that too. So they got a shot, but I agree 1,000%. I've had many of those days where I've come home to Kath and I'm like, my God, we may not win a game. And then, you know, the schedule is a part of it too. Yeah. That's always a part of it. You know, we got to challenge the schedule. I think we play, you know, if probably 5 of the top 6 teams in the ACC we play, and plus we're going to play LSU, play South Carolina.
Yeah, Coach. You talked about you guys have a chance to win it, and the big reason you guys have a chance to win it is because of your quarterback, Cade Klubnik. You had, like you said, you mentioned you had Deshaun Watson, you had Trevor Lawrence, and now you have Cade Klubnik, who had a huge year last year. What growth have you seen him this offseason, and what steps do you think he needs to take to get you guys bring a championship back to Clemson this year?
Yeah, well, first of all, physically growth. Like he was 212 pounds at weigh-in. So, I mean, he's a kid that showed up here 179 pounds.
He got the guns out, huh?
Yeah, he's just his lower body. He's just a thicker, you know, more stout guy. And so that just accentuates all this other stuff already. Yep. He's a good runner, makes him a better runner.
Right.
So all those things physically is the biggest thing. And then just from where he was this time last year, it was a lot of criticism, a lot of noise. You know, we're not going to win with this guy. And his first year as a starter, I mean, he took too many sacks. He turned the ball over too many times. Ball handling, poor decisions. he refused. He just absolutely wouldn't use his legs. This kid is a really gifted runner, but he had just never done it. Never really been asked to do it. And his closest game in high school was 14 points. He won 3 state championships in a row, never lost a game in high school. The closest game was a 14-point margin. And now all of a sudden, his first year as a starter, he's got some football adversity, but he battled through that. And then last year, he improved in all those areas. He became not just a good runner, he became a great runner. He became so much better in the pocket. His turnovers, his TFLs, his sacks, way down. His situational awareness improved. And so the biggest area that he's grown, having been through that year, is his confidence. I mean, the game, I would always say he's a kid that sometimes would get to the game and the game would speed him up. And as I saw him last year, the game slows down now. And it's just, Coach, you've been around the great ones, like, and when you're around those great ones, because you can all feel those moments, and it's just like, it don't matter what's going on, that guy slows it down. It doesn't speed the great ones up. The great ones slow it down. And that's kind of what I've seen with him. He has complete ownership and understanding of what everybody's doing, but his confidence. And then I'd say the next thing is he is the unquestioned leader of our football team. This time last year, he had to go earn that. He was the leader of our offense, but he's the unquestioned leader of our football team. So what he needs to do moving forward to take that next step is more of the same. Just continue to pick up where he left off last year, and just stay on that track. If he takes that next step, that's really all it is for him.
I want to hit you with the ACC here for a second. I think it's intriguing when people start talking about the expanding the playoff, and I saw the Big Ten model that was proposed, and it kind of shortchanged the ACC, where you had I think it was 4-4, 2-2, 1-1. And then I started thinking back, there was a time, Coach, that ACC could have made claim to the most difficult conference in college football. You had Clemson, obviously, Florida State, Louisville, Miami, and Virginia Tech, all top 15 teams. There was a time where, several years ago where, ACC was as good as any other conference. There's only one other team other than you in the top 25. That's Miami. Do you see I know they have a new coach at Louisville, a hell of a coach. And do you see Miami, the Florida States, Miami's, Louisville's, Virginia Tech's, they've got to be good for your conference to get that respect. How far off are they?
Not far off. I think all that stuff is cyclical, honestly. And, I know there's been a lot of talk about that's why I've always said everybody wants to play more conference games. I think it just becomes more insulated. Like, I'm like, why don't we play less conference games and let's go, just put it on the field, and let's play 5 conference games or 6 and 6, and let's go mix it up and let's see who's got the best deal. But I think it's cyclical. I think everybody's good, especially in today's, you can get great in a day. You really can. Miami's, they were good last year. They were a really good football team last year, had the number 1 draft pick. I think if you look at our league and you look at the quarterbacks in this league, I think if you look in the NFL and you look at the amount of players drafted out of the ACC, this is a quarterback-driven league. There's some of the best quarterbacks in the country are right here. Again, last year as well, Louisville is listen, they beat us last year. Louisville's a really good football team, and I loved their quarterback last year. What's his name? Shuck.
Yeah, Shuck, Tyler Shuck.
He might be the starter for the Saints this year as a rookie. Cam Ward, a number 1 draft pick. So obviously we got a good quarterback. I think the league, who knows what's going to happen at North Carolina. They got 75 new players. I have no idea. Y'all help me out with that one.
A new coach too, I think. Yeah. I can't remember his name. They got this guy named Bill
Belichick. I think he's pretty good. And but Miami's been awesome. Florida State didn't have a good year last year, but Mike's done a great job down there. And they had some obviously some challenges last year. We've been a very steady, consistent program for a long time. Georgia Tech, let me tell you, Georgia Tech,
no slouch.
They had Georgia beat last year.
Yes, they did.
They had them beat. And Athens, listen, Coach Key's done an amazing job at Georgia Tech. That's SMU. and the job that Rhett's done. Dave Doran has been a very consistent winner at NC State. Obviously, Virginia Tech, we all know what their potential is. Billy O's going to get them going at BC. I mean, Fran at Syracuse won 10 games last year.
Right.
So I think, people
That's right.
put them on the schedule. That's all I can say.
Line them up.
It's a very cyclical thing. And just as soon as you think you got it all figured out, you don't. So,
cyclical. A little vocabulary for y'all today.
Yeah, I'm from Alabama. That's a smart 4 A's and a B. Just so you know, Mark. Got 2 degrees from Alabama.
Yes, sir.
Alabama.
Coach, so speaking of Bama, the SEC, they just went to 9 conference games. The ACC's that one holdout conference. So listening to you, you're advocating to your AD, your president, your fellow coaches that we don't need to get it to 9. If anything, you want to reduce the amount of conference games in the ACC?
No, I ain't advocating for nothing. That's a big word.
What are you advocating for,
the
then?
only thing I'm advocating for is Monday practice tonight. Let's go have play practice. I could care less about all the rest of that stuff.
So you don't care if the ACC goes to 9 or 5?
And that's Clemson.
No, I like your theory, though. You were saying, what
I was saying is there's always this talk. There's always this chit chat. I mean, for a long time growing up, I mean, you had all kind of cross games and people played each other. And I'm like, why? It's going to get there anyway. I mean, I know what's coming. Maybe it's 5 years, maybe it's 3 years, whatever, because there's too much money and there's too much at stake. But sooner or later, there's going to be, nobody wants to hear it, but there's probably going to be a 30 to 50 team type of league, and there's going to be pods. I'm just saying, like, everybody likes to talk big and talk about how great their conference is. I'm more about my program. There's some teams that stink that go, yeah, but we're in this league, and they waive the league. I'm more about, like, what type of program do you have? And I mean, listen, we've played the best of the best around for a long time. We've scheduled well. We've been playing 10 Power 5 conferences for 16 years that I've been a head coach. Do you know how few people have done that? Like, I've always had this thing. Everybody wants to play more. I'm like, well, how about we first get everybody to play 10 all-ins instead of, and I don't care how you do it. And then we get this conference is better than that conference and this conference. I mean, and I've just never bought into that stuff. I mean, we've played Alabama in 3 national championships and won 2, and we're an onside kick away from a 3rd one.
Relax, Coach. It's okay.
My point is, like, if we want to settle all that stuff, then let's mix it up.
Yeah.
Like, mix it up instead of playing more conference games and becoming more insulated. Well, let's play more Big Ten. Let's play more ACC, play more Big 12. Let's play you're going to play your 4 conference games, and then you're going to go play 8 non-conference. Now, how fun would that be? And then I think you got a better, and surely there's an algorithm out there. We're living in a world where there's a bunch of smart people. We got AI, we got algorithms. Surely somebody can figure out the scheduling model, and then it'd be a lot of fun to talk about. But I am not, make this clear, I ain't advocating for I could care less. You asked me a question. I'm just saying all I care about is Clemson.
Yeah.
And make sure that Clemson is ready to play on game day.
Now, Coach, you said that you guys have, your program has played the best of the best. Last year, you guys opened against Georgia, so you always have played the best of the best. This year, you're starting with LSU. 2 quarterbacks were up for Heisman contention. Is that like your preference to start the year with a big game? Why not? Why you feel like you want to test your team like that every single opener?
My preference since the day I got this job has always been, like, when I literally met with AD when I got the job, and I said, look, I want to play we got our 8 conference games for sure, and I want to go play 2, like, get me the best you can get. I just think it's great to test your team early, and, we don't have preseason games. That makes it a little bit more difficult in college football, and especially with the transfer world, you don't know a lot about some of these guys from a tape standpoint, but I think it's fun. I mean, let's go see where we're at and go.
Coach, I want to hit the transfer portal concept in Clemson's world real quick. For players coming into Clemson via the transfer portal this year. The previous 7, you had taken in just 2. So what is your philosophy on how Clemson wants to approach the transfer portal as far as at least bringing in talent?
Yeah, we just use it when we need it. I mean, we've signed 5 guys in 5 years, and we've used it as we've needed. So I don't, everybody's got to do what they think's best for their program. I mean, I don't judge other people. I mean, I know people like to judge us a lot on our philosophy, but I don't judge other people. If I left today and took a job, half the team would leave because they can. And I couldn't go sign 40 freshmen, but it's my 23rd year at Clemson. I've been here 23 years. Wow. It's my 16th as the head coach. We're just very rooted in who we are. And you don't just snap your fingers and have that. And, I think that, I think loyalty is a 2-way street, first of all. And I think our preference is to recruit high school kids, develop them, retain them, and go win. That's always been our philosophy. And so as the world has changed around us, from time to time, we have to use the portal. And that's our philosophy, is we'll use it when we have to. And, we, in the last 3 years, in the craziest 3 years of college football, in my opinion, we've led the nation in graduation rate and retention. Fewest players leaving our program.
Great.
And most of them, the great majority of the kids that have left our program, they have their degree.
Yes.
So, we believe in that. And I believe in the guys that we've evaluated, and we have to develop them. And I know it's a different world where people want to plug and play, but and if we have to, we will.
You guys, one of the best traditions in college football, running down that hill. Coach, is that hill getting a little steeper? Is it getting a little faster as maybe the age starts climbing up a little bit?
Coach be opening up that stride now. Coach be sliding.
I've been doing that. So my very first game when I ran down the hill in 2008, I didn't even mean to. I'm gone. I'm the first one out, and then I'm the last one to the sideline. I make sure everybody's down. And I've done that forever. And somewhere along the way, somewhere like 10 years into my tenure, people started, I guess, noticing actually me running down the hill. But I've always done that. But no, man, I mean, I always tell everybody, I never got to experience what it felt like to run 4.6. So it took a hill like that for me to do it. So I enjoy it every single time.
Do you catch some air while you do it too?
Every now and then. I try not to get air because I know everybody wants me to fall, so I could be like a meme for the,
No, because I know you're doing some wind sprints because you be coming down that thing wide open now. I know them hamstrings got to be, ready to go.
I'm good. I just rock and roll. I just work out and run, play basketball, and stay ready. Stay ready. Ain't got to get ready.
Hey, Dabo, I got the Clemson story that so I'm at Florida, Mark and Rob, and Clemson's just kind of, they've always been good, but not what coach has brought them to. And so we're recruiting this kid named C.J. Spiller. He's 30 minutes from the Swamp, and he is a Gator, man. And I mean, I love this guy. I still love him. Yeah. And so I remember Charlie Strong, it's coming down his signing date. And I said, what do you think? And he said, my defense coordinator, Charlie Strong, he said, I don't know. And I said, we can't lose a kid to Clemson. He goes, Coach, I'm telling you now, Clemson, those players like going. I go, Clemson? And I mean, this is how ignorant I was. I knew nothing. I'm from the North. I'm down in SEC country. On signing date, he puts on the Clemson hat. I lose my mind. I mean, lost it. And so I just don't know much about Clemson. So the 1 year I took off, I'm at ESPN, Rob, and I go do a game in Clemson, South Carolina. I don't know where Clemson, South Carolina is.
Yep.
I walk in that stadium, and I'm like, you can say SEC all you want. This is as good an environment as I ever seen. What? So I get hired at Ohio State, and I'm recruiting a player. And the player comes in my office and he shows me a picture or something. He said, hey, Coach Swinney wanted me to show you this. And it's a quote I have. There's a quote from me
on the wall
in his facility that says how great Clemson. And I'm like, that son of a, So I'm actually recruiting for Clemson now.
Yeah. We have a quote wall. Oh yeah. I got Kirby. I got Saban. We got them all. So anytime we get some great quote, we just put it on the wall. We got a great quote wall. But yeah, we got Coach Meyer on there. We've had some fun with that.
what we do is we've been asking you questions. We give you a chance to ask any one of us a question. So we give you a chance to be the host and fire one at us, man.
Let's go Swinney coming at you from what did y'all say? Triple option? Yeah. From the triple option. Mark, so now that you are no longer playing and you're doing broadcasting and media and stuff, you got this big game. I know you're an SEC guy, but do you think Clemson has a chance to beat LSU? Who are you picking in this game?
Clemson always has a chance to beat anybody because they have the man at the helm, Dabo Swinney. How you like that? Quote wall. They always have a chance to beat anybody. You see them two trophies? You see them two trophies in the background?
Quote wall. Yeah, you know what? That's the door prize when you beat Alabama. You get to go home with that. That's
usually what happens when you beat Alabama. You end up with something good like that.
You get to go home with that. Then I would say, Coach Meyer, first of all, how's the family? How's everybody? How's Michelle?
She's great. 6 grandbabies. Everybody healthy and doing great, man. It's awesome.
And that's awesome. So everybody's good. I've got 2 grand dogs, so I'm waiting on a grandchild. They're all on the clock, so hopefully that'll happen.
Grand dogs.
Is it as good as they say, being a grandparent?
It is. The problem is that my son-in-law moved to UNLV, so they're across the country. You like them when they're closer, but is what it is. It's that good.
Is he coaching? Is he coaching?
He's offense coordinator for Dan Mullen. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
Good to see you, brother.
Yep. You too, man. Good to be with y'all.
Sci-fi for life.
Go Tigers.
Time now for 3 and Out. This week, 3 predictions for the season. I'll go first. Prediction number 1. Illinois will be this year's Indiana in the Big Ten, and the Illini will make their first college football playoff appearance.
Wow.
All right. Number 2, my conference. Somehow the Big 12 has become my conference. The Big 12, their growth continues, and they send 2 schools to the college football playoffs. Prediction number 3, the Big 10 will win a 3rd consecutive national title. Mark, you saw what I saw with Coach Franklin. Congratulations, Penn State. The Natty is coming to Happy Valley.
What? Wow.
Coach, you're up.
Pretty
What's
strong.
In that cup over there?
All right. The same thing that's on the walls.
It's my shirt. It's my shirt.
All right, here we go. My predictions are LSU with returning quarterback, veteran team, veteran coach. They're going to make their trip to the playoffs. Number 2, Florida. After watching this documentary on Netflix there, DJ, the quarterback, Lagway, he's going to have a hell of a year. I think he'll be in a Heisman contention, and I think the University of Florida is going to be in the SEC championship game. And then number 3, Cade Klubnik will be a Heisman Trophy winner for the Clemson Tigers.
What's in your cup, too?
He's not wrong.
He's
not wrong, man.
You want to know my 3 predictions?
I do, Mark. Yes, I do. I would love to know what your 3 are.
Bama to the CFP and making big noise to going to the CFP championship. What you think about that?
Shocker. It was Bama. Yeah.
My 2nd prediction, Auburn's still going to suck. My 3rd prediction, you want to know what that is?
Talk to me.
Oh, the poor Barners, man.
Big Noon going to kick ass all year.
Yes.
And the triple option, too.
There we go. Big Noon kickoff in Columbus. Our triple option brethren, if you will be in Columbus this coming week as well. Buckeye fans, Longhorn fans that are coming into Columbus this week. Friday the 29th, stop by the tailgate tour at the Riverwatch Tower. It's near the Ozone on Lane Avenue. It is free. There's going to be music. There's going to be tailgate food, a live episode of The Script with Ohio State legends Cardell Jones, Beanie Wells. They will be joined by Texas royalty. Mac Brown and Vince Young will be there. RSVP for more information on this event at tailgatetourohioState.rsvpify.com. Make sure to follow, subscribe, rate us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, as well as across social media at 3X Option Show. As always, we want to thank our amazing sponsors, Wendy's, ZipRecruiter, FanDuel, and NHTSA. Enjoy week 1 and say goodbye to this shirt. Sorry, guys, it's done. It's a one and done.
I like the shirt.
Thank you. No, now you like it.
Barely.